dear viewer, welcome to another episode of the Cable Plus Property Show, your #1 online educative platform on all issues related to land and landed properties. This is where we provide easy access to information to all Nigerians and non-Nigerians. Information on land procurement, land acquisition, building construction, registration, documentation, and obtaining planning permits. It would interest you to know, or you will agree with me, that transportation takes place on land, and land use determines transport system. This is why I'll be speaking with a professional par excellence, a transport specialist on this episode. It's no other than once a commissioner of transport in Lagos State, town planner Professor Bamidele Abiono Badijo. As you know, my name is Oiza. Come with me. So let's talk about the newly created Lagos State Motor Park Management Authority. How does it benefit commuters? And another very interesting question, is this any different from the National Union of Road Transport Workers?
It's a question, and at the same time, I want to say, obviously, that there is a park management committee of the government. And that park management committee of the government is predominantly, probably a lot of people don't know the history of park management. You see, when the Jakande Metro line was conceptualized, some areas along those Metro line corridor were earmarked for the purpose of terminal development. So when you look at all those areas, some of them are still in existence today. There is one in Yaba, there is one in Oyigbo, there is one in Ikeja. They are like that. But during that period, Lagos was not as large as it is. The other set of parks that erupted were those parks which government created as mechanic villages, so that they can use it to develop artisan competence. But over time, some of these mechanic villages, you have them in Ojota, very close to Lusoso there. You have them at, what you call it, Orile, and so many places like that. The one at Agric, all those areas like that, they are there. But instead of now turning them to real mechanic site as provided, they now turn them to motor park. And as motor park, there is need for management. And it is now left for government to choose the most convenient approach to managing such parks across the state. Now, whether it is handed to union or not to any union, I don't think, according to the constitution, composition, it is handed to any union. Probably because a very staunch union member is in that committee, it's assumed it has been handed over to the union. I may not be able to tell you what informed the composition, but I know that there is need to put sanity on our backs.
You mentioned the traffic congestion in Lagos, and I think that has become like an identity of Lagos State. If someone wants to describe Lagos, the first thing they talk about is the traffic situation. How do you think we can deal with this?
The first thing I want to clarify, you can never do away with congestion.
In Lagos?
in the whole world.
Okay.
But you can only manage congestion. The idea that we have embedded that in our brain, that congestion can be eradicated. Congestion is a sign of economic prosperity of any city.
Wow.
As a professional, I will tell you that. But an ordinary pepper seller will tell you, will take congestion off the road. Are you following me? You cannot take away congestion. That is why in some parts of larger cities abroad, there's what you call staggered resumption time. Everybody in Lagos will resume work 8 o'clock. Everybody in Lagos will close at 4 o'clock. So between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., everybody is on the road. Between 4:30 and 8 p.m., everybody is on the road. Whereas in the developed countries, that's what you call staggered hours of operation. Then again, there is something unusual. I've not been able to explain it, and I've not been able to know why. Lagos, or most cities in Nigeria, they are 8 hours driven economy. Whereas in abroad is 24 hours driven economy. Their shops don't close. Their businesses are never shut down. Have you been to Lagos Island after 6 o'clock? You'll be scared. But go there now. The first question that you ask is, where are these people from? When it is 8 o'clock in the evening, ask yourself, where are they all gone? Because our economy is just 8 hours driven. The moment our economy is either 16 hours or 24 hours driven, the congestion you are talking about will thin off. And to make it 16 or 24 hours, we need to start providing the infrastructure and facilities to make it respond to all those things. Now, I schooled in London, and I have reasons to have visited it thereafter. The city center of London, even as a student in 1990, the Oxford Street is only public transport that can pass through Oxford Street. The Queen of England, as powerful as he is, you cannot drive through Oxford Street. But over here, local government chairman will go drive against traffic to show that, yes, I'm in charge. You will walk the whole of Oxford Street. You can only see vehicles crossing, no vehicles running along the street, except public transport buses. Whereas, even there are some other areas, there is what you call, you pay for passing through certain corridor. And because of road pricing, which may be punitive, some people will not take their vehicle out, they go on public transport or go under the rail. There are regulations. But in our own climb here, we think that the regulations are meant for certain category of people and other set of people are exempted. So the most important I want to tell you is that congestion can never be eradicated. You can reduce it, you can abate it, but I want to tell you it's a sign of prosperity. I traveled with the governor of Lagos State to New York for a program. We missed the flight. On our way back, we missed our flight. And we left our hotel 4 hours before getting to the airport. We missed our flight. And they will not say because our governor is coming, they have to wait for you. we have to reschedule our flight. So if I have left a place 4 hours, in order to go and get myself ready to get out of the United States, is it not because of congestion? Because our flight was scheduled when there was peak period of movement. So those are the kind of things you come across. But people will tell you congestion is speed. If you can attain, let's say now, you are running on 10 kilometers per hour. Are you following me? And you are going to, let's say, Ikeja, Allen, and you are leaving Ikorodu. If you are going on 10 kilometers an hour, and the distance from here to Ikeja is about 25 kilometers, are you following me? That means it will take you 2.5 hours to get to Ikeja. We now say, okay, we want to reduce that time to, let's say, 20 kilometers an hour. When you reduce it to 20 kilometers an hour, it means that from Ikorodu to Ikeja is going to take me about 1 hour, 1 hour 5 minutes. Anything above 1 hour 5 minutes, that is when you say there is congestion. But if you are within that 1 hour 5 minutes, you are not facing congestion. But in Nigeria here, our congestion is that if I put it on 150, I don't want to stop. How to get there? No. Look at the third Bela bridge. They will tell you that the speed limit of third Bela bridge is 70 kilometers maximum. But you see people going on 120, 130. But the day you now bring them down to 40, hell must break. So it's because they don't understand the graduation of what is congestion. And the general assumption is that congestion is there must be no obstruction, no delay, and so on. That is not congestion. Even when you take your vehicle to, let's say, Lagos Island, some people, the time it takes to find a place to park your vehicle, are you following me? Those who left by water, long when you are looking for a place to park, have already reached Lagos Island. So we need to develop multimodal response to transport development of the state.
Okay. How do you think, what areas do you think the federal government and corporate organizations can provide assistance to the state in terms of transportation?
You see, there is a very big omission that government must provide for all. Government cannot provide for all. We need the cooperation of other people. And we need what you call corporate social responsibilities. You see, when you go to the corporate organization, the first question the corporate organization will ask you is, what am I benefiting? To justify supporting you with nothing. You can't just go to anybody and say, I want you to support us. You must be able to convince that person some of the benefits. You discover that when Dangote volunteered to construct the Apapati-Kan Road, they said they are going to give him tax holiday for a period of time, that the money will have paid for tax. He will use some of the money to do that road. That's a contribution. But government has also sacrificed so that they can now use whatever resources they have to focus on other agenda of government. But if you look at the way our tax system is designed, it may be very difficult for some states to benefit from those kind of opportunities, because tax, corporate tax, goes to the government, federal. It is the payee tax that goes to the state. So you cannot, how much will they get from payee? And that will not be given to government. So, okay, don't give us payee in another 2 or 3 years, let's do it for the. That is not the issue. Where corporate social responsibility can help, the federal government, you use that benefits of assessing the corporate social responsibility to assist. The rail project, the water transport project, there is the National Inland Waterways Authority. And there are budgets for infrastructure. And my assumption is that let us look for where our budgetary allocation will have greater impact on society. I think Lagos is one of such areas where benefits will be made. Now, the public transport system must be seriously looked into, because the population is growing astronomically, especially the youthful side of the population. Then unemployment is also very, very high. By implication, there is need for public transport buses that will be available to support the economy of the unemployed and so on.
We'll go on a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Cable Plus Property, the hub of professionals in the built environment and the #1 online educative platform on all issues related to land and landed property. At Cable Plus Property, our aim is to ensure that all Nigerians and non-Nigerians have at the tip of your fingers, free of charge, all information on landed matters. We provide you with all information you need to know about land procurement, land documentation and development, planning permit procurement, building construction, and so on. Join us today for free by subscribing to our YouTube channel, like and follow us on our social media platforms, and check us on our website www.cableplusproperty.com. Together, we shall make our environment better. Spend and build right.
Welcome back. It's still the Cable Plus Property Show with Town Planner Professor Badijo. Okay, sir. Quickly, let me take your takes on the yellow buses, which is like the common means of transport in Lagos. What is your view on those buses? Are they designed or not?
You see, I told you that when we were in government, 2007 and 2011, we had a strategic plan to eliminate the yellow buses. You remember there used to be the black bus, the red buses. In 2008, about 780 red buses were deployed on Lagos roads. The major problem with the red buses then was that the yellow buses saw them as a threat, and they did a lot to vandalize, to make the operations difficult. But at the end of the day, the government was able to overcome when the BRT came on board in 2010. The essence of the BRT was to focus mainly on how to encourage people to leave their vehicles at home and enjoy the comfort of being driven to various locations. So places like Orile, Tafawa Balewa Square, CMS, Ojota were redesigned K2 in order to provide dedicated lane for this. So people welcomed it. But the yellow buses again saw it as a threat, thinking that they will not have passengers. Even when private sectors were allowed to come in, there was one insurance company that joined in supporting the yellow buses. There was also the white buses. All these were various attempts of government to encourage public transport to develop. And the capacity of the yellow bus is just for 7 passengers, 3, 1, and the driver. But they added extra something, and that is why they find it difficult to get insurance coverage, because they have altered the conventional requirement and standard of the vehicle. So whoever is in that vehicle that is injured or molested will not be able to get any respite because of the shady deals that have been done on the vehicles. But you will see naturally there's what you call time and space in every human endeavor. Time will catch up with you, your space will become irrelevant. You'll see that the yellow buses are gradually wiping themselves out of the system. Yeah?
Are they?
Yes! Do you see Molu again?
Well, yeah, maybe not Molo.
Have
a lot of
no, you will start from somewhere.
Okay.
I can tell you that the buses are getting out of the way. Because probably you are familiar with the Ikorodu side. That is why you are getting to see them all the time. If you go towards Lekki Badore, their numbers are very, very minimal. If you also go towards Apapa, they are getting increasingly declining. The argument we are trying to say is that time and space. But I remember during our own time, we were thinking of establishing a bus assembly plant. And if I am still right, a land, an expanse of land was acquired along Ekpe area, this Ibowa side in Ekpe, to provide for land, for assembly plant, for the company that government was liaising with to come and establish an assembly plant so that we can have a standard, non-proliferated type of bus for public transport. No other person is licensed or allowed to use that vehicle or make for any means of transportation except the Lagos State. We are working on it before my tenure lapsed. But the other thing is that if this government could still look into that option, I'm sure there are greater benefits to gain from it. Because when the assembly plant is put in place and is up and running, it can provide buses to other some West African region, even up to other states or your rivers and so on. And there is this Innocent in the east that is also developing fast of transportation. They can have a sort of arrangement bilateral and so on to SPVs, buses targeting proper transportation in Lagos can be looked into.
In a few seconds, sir, I'd like to quickly take your thoughts on the Fourth Mainland Bridge and how it benefits an average person.
The Fourth Mainland Bridge, according to the last information, is that it has been awarded. and it has been awarded. But how far the project has gone, I may not be able to provide information. What I know is that if the Fourth Mainland Bridge is even minimally provided or developed to land in the Ikorodu, not to talk of extending it to the other areas, I can tell you the traffic of Lagos State will be entirely redistributed. Take for example, why do you need to drive from Lekki to Ikorodu to Ikeja? Because there's no alternative road. You have to go through Victoria Island or go through Admiralty into Osborne and so on. Everybody will still end up at the Third Mainland Bridge. During our time, we introduced what is called the transport relief system. The relief system means that let us take away traffic from this road and take some of them into this new route we are deciding. You can see the Otedola under bridge. In those days, if you have to go to the other side going towards Ibadan, you need to get to 7-Up to make your U-turn. But now, you don't need to go all that length. You go through the Otedola and bust that. Now, there's also a connection that goes into Omole Phase 1 at Isheri. Those are alternative routes. There are many like that. Look at the one at Itire and Sele, that if you are coming from Okota, instead of you going to Mile 2 to go and make your U-turn, you just did going through Itire, make a U-turn, and join the other road. There is also the one at Muson, at the Lagos Island TBS side. Instead of you going through TBS, going through Niger, you just go through other degree and come out at the this Navy military. There are many of them like that. Look at the one at the law school, opposite law school. Instead of going through the whole of law school, going through, you just need to enter the Falomobi. All these are relief roads. The major relief road will be that of Fourth Mainland Bridge. And I want to appeal to government to make it a reality for the benefits of everybody.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. We'd like you to say something about the Cable Plus property. About the Cable Plus property endeavor, the show and the company itself.
In the first instance, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
That you are doing a very, very great and awesome job. Then 3, the major problem that we have in this country, and particularly in Lagos, is what I call planning for instead of planning with. You see, we stay and sit in our offices. We are planning for the person in Imota. We are planning for the person in Itoiki, planning for someone at Itaoluwo. He's not even aware of what you are planning for him or for his community. All of a sudden, you award the contract, you come to that place, you tell them, this is what we are doing for you. That project is dead on arrival because you have assumed that the person in the seal, in the mortar, in the Italuwo, in the Turkey, don't know what he wants. So you that is planning for them, you know what they want. Whereas contemporary planning and development is planning with. Planning with means that Ishiri Motakobo, we want to do this, so what is your view? What are your perceptions? They say, no, God, we don't want this thing. Give us this instead. Why are you choosing this place? Don't choose this place. Why don't you go and choose this place and so on? They will help you. They will support you. They will guide you. So when that project eventually materializes, you will see that enthusiastically they will welcome it, they will protect it. And that is what we are doing. Public engagement, public enlightenment, public education, and planning with the people. It's a good effort. And I want to congratulate you on that line.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you. I enjoyed talking to you, by the way. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, please.
And that was the conversation with Town Planner Professor Badejo. I trust that you enjoyed the conversation and you've been able to get some enlightenment and sensitization, which is the main purpose of the program, by the way. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. It's absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything. So hit the subscribe button, like the video, share with friends, family, and colleagues. And also head on to our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram at Cable Plus Property. My name is Oiza and I will see you in the next video.